think it might be a minute before Vampire Weekend has gone on tour. You can go see him, all right? 2 tickets for you if you're caller 10. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
7 out of 10 listeners agree. On what? We have no idea. This is the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.
Ugh, I switched my teeth, and I'm not pleased at all.
What'd you switch to?
I was being lazy, so instead of grabbing my bag of my throat coat, I just looked up in the cupboard in the kitchen, and it's cinnamon apple, which under normal circumstances is not a tea that I would grab, but it's the only. This is a very coffee-centric office. They
got the tea capsules.
Those little pod things?
Yeah, there's Earl Grey. That's my go-to.
Yeah, I guess. It feels very wasteful, those plastic pods.
It is.
Well,
it is, but I mean,
I know. But
if you wanted better tea,
yeah,
you're getting it there.
Yeah.
That Earl Grey tea's real good.
I think you mispronounced that, Bill.
Nope, nailed it.
Okay.
Drinking tea.
Yeah, I don't care for Earl Grey, really.
That's my favorite.
Oh, is it really?
Bergamot.
Okay. That's not the same as English breakfast.
No, English breakfast is trash.
Oh. Well, anyway, so's this cinnamon apple. But it's no one's fault. It's only mine because I grabbed it. If you listen to us on iHeartRadio, on that app, as always, I'll give you my little preamble. Thanks for doing that because it's not always easy to do. You'll be listening to us, and it might not always seem like it, but we're all working hard here, try to entertain you, and so we'll be getting on a good run with something, and you'll be listening on the app, and a commercial will just start playing where we would normally be talking, and nobody can seem to figure out why that is. So thanks if you listen. Because, we're always telling people to listen on the app, and I'd like to give them a good reason. Brandon listens in Jersey City. That's just a hop and a skip from Mary.
Never heard of it.
There was a thing, they found that 85 migrants living under...
I read 40.
All right.
But
right there in Queens.
It's not by me.
Well, no, it's like the other side of...
it's like deep in Queens.
Yeah.
Richmond Hills.
Well, by Little Guyana or whatever it is. Mackenzie listens in Medford, Oregon. Adam listens in Pittsburgh. We have a lot of people in Pittsburgh, and a couple of them reached out to me. Alan, today is the 16th anniversary of Myron Cope's death. Are you guys hip to Myron Cope?
Nope.
Bill, do you know Myron Cope?
No.
Myron Cope was the longtime voice of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And when you talk about the Pittsburgh accent, nobody epitomized that more, and it's why he was so beloved. Nobody epitomized that more than Myron Cope.
First down.
Oh, God. That guy's nothing compared to Myron Cope. Yeah, the ref, that Yinzer ref.
10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Result of the play will be a first down. Replay first down. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
I mean, at least you can tell what he's kind of saying. Myron Cope, you could barely tell what the guy was saying.
Do you have any audio of him?
I do. He's the guy that came up with the terrible towel that they all swing now at the Steeler games.
That was a shovel pass, appeared to me, the old coal, to throw the coal into the bin there, business.
I always try to inject humor because it is, after all, lots of times,
And they shed that guy like he was a tsetse fly. Well, he jumped so high, he was at the top deck of the stadium. That play, if you'd have clocked it, you would have figured that it was a milk wagon horse running a mile.
I mean, that's what
insane.
Yeah, that's what people were listening to when they were listening to Steelers games for 35 years.
That sounds like someone doing a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
They loved him. He was a hometown boy. When I was in before I went to Pittsburgh, so I guess I would have been still in Michigan. And the guy that they hired to replace me had come from, I think, Kansas City or something. And he goes, "Oh, man, you are going to love Pittsburgh because of Myron Cope." I guess his dad was a Steeler fan or something. And I go, "I don't know who that is." He goes, "He's the guy doing the play-by-play for the Steeler games." Now, again, I wasn't listening to Steeler games on the radio, but Myron Cope he kind of did some television, whatever. But that's what he sounded like all the time. He died of lung cancer because he was just one of those old-school heavy smoker broadcasters. You certainly couldn't tell it. It didn't drop his pipes one iota. He still had that, the vocal equivalent of Poundcake grinding all that glass in his backyard. It was Myron Cope. But I imagine after 16 years, there's an entire generation of Pittsburgh Steeler fans who don't know Myron Cope. I mean, you had to be a certain age. The guy's been gone for a decade and a half now. But whoever sent me that, thank you. I never met the man personally, but he was revered in that town. Somebody sent me the story, too, about, it says guys are starting to do this, but the story is one guy who wanted to pay a lot of money. He went to see a plastic surgeon in New York because he wanted nipples like David Beckham.
What does that mean? Why do you know?
Nip it like Beckham.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you're single and rich in the city, you get bored, right? And you just look, and one of these guys that probably figures, maybe that's what's missing. I have all this money. I can't do anything about my personality, and I'm just having a hard time getting dates.
So the nipples will be the thing that brings them in.
Yeah, well, somebody's thinking nipple reconstruction. I didn't even realize that David Beckham had famous nips.
He doesn't.
The ideal male nipple is how it's described. Small and almond-shaped. And so now plastic surgeons, one in New York who told the story, he did it for $2,500 a nip.
Nippleplasties.
So $5,000 for both. I mean, they say you can get back to work in an hour. Imagine you show back up to work and you're bleeding, like you just ran a marathon and you're chafing and you got bloody gauze on your nipples.
There's an influencer. I didn't even know that this was a thing, but there was an influencer that I follow, and you can tell, like, they stitched on his nipples. He has, like, just...
That's what they did to porn stars back in the day. They'd cut them off, give them these giant implants, and stitch them back on.
It's the
They were looking at you cockeyed half the time.
Because I'm like, why would you want to do that? Like, they didn't improve it. You could tell where the stitching was, like, or you could tell where the stitching is. Like, that's not a real nipple. So I want to see before pictures. I'm like, can I see your old nipples?
Let me see the OG nip.
Yeah, I want to see because
Before
like
and after?
yeah, I just out of all the things that I would change, I don't know if I would go there. Nipple would be like last on the list. I'm sure I'd probably get it done if I was bored. But like hair plugs, big stupid horse teeth veneers.
You love those veneers.
He
Yeah,
does.
gotta get it.
But why?
Knees done.
You can get veneers and not get big, stupid horse
He
teeth.
thinks the horse teeth ones are
The
a
bigger
status
the teeth,
symbol.
the
I
more-
know.
The bigger the bank.
Like Gary Busey. That
Who?
guy looks like he just fell out of a garbage truck all the time. Look at Gary Busey and then tell me
a
that's the
garbage
guy who's...
truck he owns. He's
Yeah,
not
I guess.
leasing that
Fully
thing.
paid off garbage
Yeah.
truck. Alan.
Okay, but I'm talking like Joe Biden. I don't think there's any more famous chompers than Joe Biden's big stupid teeth. Because
Chris Rock got those brand new teeth when he started making some money.
But
Look
there's-
at Chris Rock's old grill.
Bad Baby, she got big stupid horse teeth veneers.
Right, but I'm just
But they
saying
don't look good.
they don't have to be stupid horse teeth to get veneers. I mean, you
Meanie
could
leaks.
you can get normal
Just,
new
Regular-looking
teeth
teeth,
that
yeah.
look like they fit your mouth.
but you also have good teeth.
That's not the point.
Does he?
Bill. Yes, I do have good teeth. I have good teeth.
Okay, I don't know. I don't look at your teeth.
So like, why?
The fact that you want to change them so much would lead me to believe otherwise.
But there's plenty of people I feel like have good teeth and they change them anyways.
I guess.
Yeah, I just don't get the point of that. I always like seeing somebody
Requires
that's still
less
got
maintenance.
kind of jacked up teeth, even though they've been famous for a long time. Like Will Ferrell still kind of has something going on with his bottom teeth. They're kind of zigzaggy.
Yeah.
I
Aaron
appreciate that.
Hernandez, they said that contributed to his like depression in prison. Was he had veneers, and when he was in prison, they started to fall out because he didn't have money or the maintenance to
Well, that
maintain them.
poor guy.
Oh, I feel for Aaron Hernandez. You shut up, Bill.
I know you
Hot.
do because he was hot.
Oh God, never mind.
He's a murderer.
He doesn't care.
Allegedly, he was acquitted on. They tried to pin him for both cases. He only did one, allegedly,
So that still makes him a murderer.
but not a serial murderer. Like not the animal they were making him to be. He just
Still pretty bad.
you don't know what the guy did.
He supposedly wrote a letter saying that even worse than this prison sentence are my teeth falling out because my smile is really
It's the
where.
window to my soul.
Yeah. My teeth are everything to me, he said.
See, it means
I mean, I feel like that.
That was the letter that that woman then subsequently
Well-
sold on eBay for about $8,000.
But you're,
My teeth were screwed up for so long.
yeah, so
that
I
now that
understand
they're
why.
pretty-
Yeah.
Like, I'm insane about my teeth. Like, I still floss and brush my teeth pretty much every time after I eat. I'd say not every time. Like, not like it was when I had to because I was wearing my retainers all the time. But it's just become habit that I carry that stuff around with me. So I've
Yes.
always got toothpicks or mouthwash, toothpaste, like always on me.
There's no
because
downside to that.
I never was. I
But
was
you
never
don't want
proud of my smile
big.
before.
No, but now you have a great smile, and it's
Yeah.
it's like that I understand.
Yeah.
But Poundcake has great teeth, and then him wanting to get big old horse teeth veneers so
big,
he can
stupid
be
horse teeth.
big
veneers.
stupid horse teeth veneers, so he can be like, I got money, is silly.
There's a lot of things that rich people do that's silly.
Well, that's why I said, case in point, when you're single and rich and you're bored, you're going saying, hey, make my nipples look like David Beckham. I got $5,000 burning a hole in my pocket. Could you fix my nipples over lunchtime?
This'll bring in the ladies.
Yeah.
like the nipples are the problem.
Right.
Also, would he be embarrassed if he took his shirt off and someone's like, "Man, your nipples look like David Beckham's"? Like
He'd probably be like, ha ha, I got my money's worth. That's
the Beckhams.
Worth every penny.
Mhm.
Wow. Imagine being known for your nipples of all things.
I don't know that he is.
Or like your
I mean,
your kneecaps. Like wow, he has
Bend
the-
it like
the
Beckham, but
kneecap
it's
standards.
now it's nipples like Beckham.
I think people are working backwards from the fact that David Beckham is a really good-looking guy in amazing shape. And so they go, oh, I mean, I bet if that, I don't know, and again, I don't know what the guy looks like because clearly he was way too embarrassed to have a photo in this article, but I bet that just about anybody who got into David Beckham's shape would end up with those nipples. Unless you got big dinner plate
Nah,
pepperonis.
there's some people that's what they're
They
born
got
with.
those, yeah.
I'm like, bitch, is that a birthmark? Like, no, these are my nipples.
Well, like the Rock had surgery, I believe, on his nipples because he kind of had like a little puffy thing going on there, and they don't look like that anymore. And people,
Yeah, because he was probably
also-
taking some supplement that was giving him man boobs.
He also professionally had his shirt off though, so that's different than this random.
right. I'm
man.
not saying, but I'm saying like some people, like even when he was in really good shape, just genetically he kind of had a puffier nip.
Did you see the lady who announces to the medical school that the tuition is free?
$1 billion, right?
Yeah. This is a woman who was a professor at the school, but she and her husband, for decades, had invested in Berkshire Hathaway, in Warren Buffett. So upon her husband's death, they had a little over $1 billion in largesse that he said, do with this what you think you should. And she's donating it to the medical school.
Give it to me.
Happy to share with you that starting in August this year, the Albert Einstein College of Medicine will be tuition-free.
Free medical school. Albert Einstein College of Medicine has received a gift that will ensure free tuition for all of the students at the Bronx School. The $1 billion donation made by Dr. Ruth Gottesman, the chair of the Einstein Board of Trustees. All current fourth-year students are going to get back their spring 2024 semester tuition, and effective beginning in August of this year, all students moving forward will receive free tuition.
Now, I'm not gonna appreciate it.
Imagine if you're a fourth-year medical student and you're getting one semester back. I mean, every little bit helps, but every kid starting this fall is getting free tuition to medical school.
That's awesome.
It's great, but
Yeah,
oh,
I mean,
God, imagine you're like, I'm almost out of medical school. And then she goes, it's got to be free starting next year. Oh,
like, what the hell?
yeah.
You can't go back because if they go back 3 years, then they got to go back 5 years.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
So-
I know. And why is a school of medicine? This is in the Bronx. Why is the school of medicine named after Albert Einstein?
He was a medicinist. You didn't know that about him?
I mean, I'm not a doctor, obviously.
Maybe
but
it's not that good of a school.
He's a medicinary.
Yeah, is that what it is? He was a physicist, and they name a medical school after him. Hey, what's your acceptance rate? Like 102%. I mean,
Relatively, this isn't that bad.
yeah, that $1 billion is going to go a long way because tuition is $2,500 a year. We're not that good. We're barely accredited. The largest donation made to any medical school in the United States. Yeah, that was interesting to me. They're like, Albert Einstein School of Medicine. Like, what? I know that's universal shorthand for a smart guy, but he was a physicist. And I'm almost positive there's no physics in medical school curriculum.
There's physics in everything, Alan. It's the mathematics of life.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, they ain't teaching it in medical school, so maybe it's a different Albert Einstein. Wouldn't that be wild? Maybe
yeah.
There's a guy
Dr.
named
Albert
Albert Einstein. Yeah.
Maybe it's Bob Einstein's dad.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
The Albert Brooks School of Medicine.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein School of Medicine in the Bronx. Was it named after Albert Einstein?
I don't think there's many other Albert Einsteins.
There's a few. Because isn't that Albert Brooks' real name?
Yes, Albert Einstein. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Used to be the medical school of Yeshiva University. Oh, okay. Well, it's only been around since the 50s.
So then it couldn't have been Einstein.
Well, the Albert Einstein, I guess, sent a letter to someone at the beginning of this school. And
When did Albert Einstein die?
Albert Einstein? Didn't you see Oppenheimer?
No.
He died in like the mid-50s.
Oh, man.
Because he stayed here once the Nazis started going crazy over in Europe. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to go back. Can you guys put me up here for a while? So
Speaking of Nazis, I watched a movie that was very sad. It's called
Schindler's List.
Not Come and
Been around
See.
forever.
No.
Zone of Interest.
Zone of Interest,
Yeah.
where it takes place in a Nazi's officer's home, and they share a wall with Auschwitz,
The concentration camp.
And
How'd you end up watching that?
My friend wanted to watch it, and I was just like, you know what? Let's
feel-good
try
movie of the
it.
summer.
Oh, dude, it's such a bummer, but it was really powerful, and it got like it really made me feel things, and it's very haunting, but it's a little bit of a slog because there's not really any story, or like it's like it was filmed with Ring cameras all over people's houses, but it takes place in that era, and it's just really strange. But it was, just so sad. Sad.
There's a movie from the mid-'80s called Come and See. It's a Russian movie about the German occupation of Belarus. And holy cow. That one will get you right in your knickers. But Zone of Interest, is that a long movie?
About an hour and a half, so not super long.
Because it's getting like all kinds of award nominations and stuff.
It's just a very original take on a World War II movie.
Yeah.
Because it just makes everything seem so much more human than any other movie I've seen about World War II. Which there's a lot of very good ones and a lot of very devastatingly sad ones. This one just hit in a different way because it just shows these people completely compartmentalizing, ignoring, and even being excited about what's happening with their life when there's horrible atrocities happening just on the other side of the wall.
Right.
Little kids running around playing, laughing, having a good time, swimming in the pool, and as they're doing that, you just hear gunshots and screaming. Oh, it's tough.
I like that director a lot, that Jonathan Glazer.
Mm-hmm.
He did Sexy Beast. He did Under the Skin, the Scarlett Johansson alien movie. Hacha.
Never saw it.
He does good work.
I never saw all of it. I saw certain parts.
Yeah.
He looked up the boob scenes.
Yes, I did.
He looked up the boob scenes.
Well,
yeah. Scarlett Johansson, under the skin boob scenes. Oh, hey, there they are. I'm going to break. If you want to send a text, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com for all the other stuff.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7